We are live. I'm Jamil Parker. This is YSM Sports Media. How y'all doing today? I know it's football Sunday, but big thing happened in boxing yesterday. We're going to rap about it. Jaron Ennis has become the mandatory, the number one contender. It's not a mandatory until it's ordered by the IBF or whatever sanctioning body. To Errol Spence IBF championship.
Over twist. That's the one.
Problem. So how this happened last night is Kudratillo Abdukakhorov faced off against Cody Crowley on the Nonito Donaire card on Showtime. And Kudratillo had petitioned to be the IBF mandatory, being that Errol Spence hasn't defended or hasn't faced a mandatory since I think Carlos Ocampo. And this was Ocampo? This was like 4 years ago? Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So he hadn't faced a mandatory since Ocampo. So he was definitely due. And Abdukkarov was supposed to fight an eliminator against Sergey Lipinets. This was during the pandemic. But he couldn't come over here. I think it was due to COVID and visa restrictions. And so Sergey Lipinets ended up fighting Castillo Clayton, ended up having a controversial draw. And then right after that, Sergey Lipinets gets baptized by Jaron Ennis. All right, we got some comments in the building. All right, my man Andy Rivera. Did Ennis really become the number one contender? The IBF ranks still show Ennis number 3. Okay, so the IBF ranks hasn't been updated. But as you know, Sean Porter was number 2. Sean Porter retired, and Abdukkarov lost. So basically, as soon as they're updated, Jaron Ennis will be number 1. I'm in Milwaukee money. I'm not buying the hype, not versus the big boys just yet. All right, Milwaukee, when you say that, right? Who did George Kambosos be for you to buy him against Teofimo Lopez? I'll wait. Who did Teofimo Lopez beat for you to say that he would beat Vasil Lomachenko? Who did Sandor Martin beat to let you know that he would be ready for Mikey Garcia? That's not how boxing works. Styles make fights. And when you're looking at Jaron Ennis, what is he, 5'10", 5'11", really fast, really strong, good punching power, good reflexes. All the things that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence have over their opponents, Jaron Ennis is one. Basically, he's Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford put together. Errol Spence's size and strength with Terrence Crawford's skill level, ability to switch, reflexes, speed, the whole nine. My boy Wayne Hennessy, salute to you. My boy JPD, Houston, we have a problem. You goddamn right. You goddamn right you got a problem. Just peeping, yo.
Yep.
No bad habits. Always in the gym. Always working. Even like he just gets finished a fight, back to the gym. No bullshit, no partying. Video games, basketball, boxing. That's it. Can you say that about your favorite fighter? Mm. But now we're going to explain the situation that Errol Spence is in. Right after these comments. All right, so my man Benjamin Brown said, if we're being honest, I don't see Errol fighting Boots. Maybe Crawford, but definitely not Errol. He'll give Boots that belt. We're going to get to that. They might make Boots fight Crowley to be the mandatory. All right, Dante, the problem with that is Crowley wasn't ranked in the IBF top 15. So they can't put him in an eliminator to fight for the belt. It would have to be somebody that's lower. Crawford would dodge that smoke too. Yeah, them too. Marlon Cosby, y'all act like Spence is scared of Boots. Boots look good against C-level fighters. If he fights Spence, it's going to be a different outcome. Says who? Now, make no mistake, I don't think a fighter is scared of another fighter. So I'm not that dude. And I don't want y'all to get that misconstrued. But business-wise, it doesn't make sense. Jaron Ennis is a real threat. And we all see how Terrence Crawford reacts to real threats. When he thinks you easy work, it's man down, strap season. When he sees you as a possible obstacle, then that means he puts his business hat on. Most fighters do that, but you can't act like you didn't see Errol Spence turn from a savage to Mark Cuban all in one calendar year. I'm just saying, his energy with Terrence Crawford and Keith Thurman completely different. If you're a professional boxer, anyone can fight anyone. Yeah, real shit. Not how boxing works. You're right, Jack. You're completely right. Salute, great show. YSM saw you on Bushido, said to subscribe and came and did. Keep up the good work. Appreciate that, Damone. Shouts out to my man Bushido. Yo, great guy, great content, man. He really speaks from his heart. Like, Bushido ain't for cat, right? If he says it, he means that shit wholeheartedly. My man Coach K, styles make fights. Boots is a combination of Spence and Bud. Yeah. My man Brandon, yo, what's good, B? Hey, B, you want me to send a link? Let me send a link real fast for you. This is my co-host, Brandon Walker. So either Spence fights Bud or Boots. I think Earl would rather fight Boots. I actually don't think so. I actually don't think so. Do you watch Jaron Ennis spar all the time? Probably like once a week. I've seen him spar against Olympians, some guys that y'all would say are the next wave of upcoming fighter. I ain't gonna talk about it, but the face says it all. Like, bro, I just want to read some. I don't know what that means. At Coach K, but better, yeah. Boots and Bud are alike in no bad habits. Yes, they are very similar in that aspect. They're fighters. They're two fighters that take their craft really seriously. And to be perfectly honest with you, man, them dudes, like the only thing that I can say Crawford may have over Boots right now is just the experience. Because Crawford 38 fights, been fighting on a high level for a very long time. And he knows how to win a fight. But anything physical, Boots has over Bud. And Bud is a 135 or moving up to 147 pounds. So I can't expect him to be as big and as strong as Boots because he's a naturally smaller man. But let's touch on the situation. Yeah, Damone Daniels. Spence has a lot of bad habits. Spence doesn't know. He's stuck in that rapper boxer like lane where he's like a celebrity, and all his homies around him are street dudes, or shit. The LBs just got booked. So yeah, street dudes or rappers, and that is not a good lifestyle for an athlete, a top level athlete.
What's
All right,
up, doggy?
what's good, B?
Chilling.
All right, so I'm going to explain to you the details of what's going on, so y'all can have a better idea. All right, so Abdukkarov was been number one for about a year, maybe 2 years, ever since he beat Luis Collazo. Okay, so the thing with the IBF, they're very strict. The IBF will strip Jesus. If Jesus doesn't fight the man, though, the IBF will strip him, and that stems from what was a lawsuit in the '90s or the early 2000s.
That shit, I forgot. But bro, they stripped Canelo because he wouldn't
Yeah,
fight Derevyanchenko.
yeah. So they stripped Canelo Alvarez because he wouldn't fight Sergey Derenchenko. Canelo Alvarez is the
Bro,
number
nobody gets
one.
more favoritism than
Yeah,
Canelo.
nobody
Like
gets more
nobody.
favorites than Canelo. He's the super A side. So you have Terrence Crawford, you have your Dennis Ugas, you have Keith Thurman, Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. All right, so Virgil Ortiz was ordered to fight an eliminator against David Avenesian for the WBC. He declined that. Okay, so you had Jaron Ennis and Kudratillo Abdukakhorov both petitioned to be the mandatory, and it was looking like that there was going to be an eliminator for the IBF, along with Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz being the number one and number two for the WBO. As we know about the WBA, they're having a tournament with Butab, Jamal James just lost, and now it's going to be Stanionis versus Ugas. So they're tied up. And the WBO, Crawford just fought his mandatory. The WBC, Earl fought his mandatory with Danny Garcia. And that's not going to be up. Oh, wow. That's up. That's going to be December. So, yeah. So right now, the only mandatories that can be ordered are the IBF and the WBC. And being that Virgil Ortiz just declined that, then it would either be David Avenesian versus Jaron Ennis for the eliminator for Earl's title, or for the IBF, Boots being the mandatory, or them asking Boots to fight an eliminator. So basically, Errol Spence is in a position where he can either do one or two things. He can either fight Boots or vacate. Because as of this year, that's it. It's a shit off to get off the pot. And what I think he's going to do is he's going to vacate that belt and fight Terrence Crawford because he has nowhere else to go. There's no other fight out there that can make Errol Spence money. There's no other fight out there that can command the amount of pay-per-views that would equal a Errol Spence purse. Think about it. Keith Thurman is fighting in January. So Keith's not going to be ready to mid-spring, early summer.
Yeah.
And Terrence Crawford just fought, so he'll probably be back as soon as March or April. So it's simple. It's either a Bud or Boots. What's your thoughts on it, B?
Bro, I think it's gonna be Thurman. I think Spence fights Thurman. I think Thurman beats Barrios in January. And then Spence sits out till what, April, May, June, however long. And it's Spence Thurman. And then he vacates the IBF. And then Boots gets to fight somebody for the IBF title, and then Boots wins a vacant belt. That's the way I see it playing out.
That's a very realistic scenario. Let me get to a couple of these comments, and then I'm going to drop a bombshell on y'all. Boots is Terrence Crawford on steroids. He is special, a generational talent. You 100% right. Crawfish ain't want no smoke. Boots will stop Earl to the body. All that drinking isn't good for a boxer. Jordan, you're 100% right. Earl has a lot of bad habits. Really good fighter. I think he's a tougher matchup for Boots than Bud. And I think Errol is capable of beating both fighters, but I just, even though he's capable, I don't see either one of those guys beating Boots. Boots' toughest or most challenging fight would be Bud 50-50.
Bro, these dudes are delusional. They tripping,
Man,
dog.
Trap Media USA. What's up, Trap? All right, Boots number 2 in the WBO as well. I think the WBC going to mandate Virgil, which takes him out of the WBO, and the WBO will mandate Boots versus Bud, so both young fighters get a shot. See, but because he just fought Sean, they're not going to have to do that for another year. My man, Sean Randall, Philly Go. My man, Damn, Spence boxed in now. Yeah, he boxed in, man. Boxed in. Philly breed the best fighters ever. I'm a Philly dude, so I'm inclined to agree. When we gonna get the Blair Flair interview? Yo, I gotta reach out to Blair. Yo, I completely forgot Trap. I'm so sorry, bro. I gotta reach out to Blair. If Crawford is willing to become the mandatory, then instead of frivolous videos, just say I accept 60-40 from Spence. Hey Jimmy, that's because it was Kaepernick. He's doing it. He's doing it to stay in the public eye. He's doing it to put public pressure on Spence. But the IBF split is what, 65-35 or 75-25?
It's when they do this, like 67-33 or some bullshit like
Yeah,
that when
so
they do
you
that.
can't even petition, like, bro, you petition the IBF. All that stuff is done behind closed doors, not Twitter. That's not how it works. So yeah, he's capping. Okay, so we got 76 people in here. I need to see 80 people. I need to see 80 likes. I got a bomb for y'all.
You know, going to the Dubai shit.
Chill, B. Chill. Can't go into details. B. No details. All right, no details. All right,
All right,
it's not
let me
just
mute my
Bud.
mic.
It's not just Bud ring IQ that makes him so dangerous. It's like Teddy Atlas says, it's that his boxing instincts are on a different plane of elite. I mean, Bud is definitely a great fighter. Okay, so you heard that the rumors are that Spence and Bud have started negotiations. I can confirm that. No details, anything like that. Yes. Yes. And it was before the Sean Porter fight. So I feel like anything that you see and hear in the media is just promotion. Now, I'm not 100% sure the fight happens, but they've already sat down for negotiations. So, like I said, this is not a narrative-based channel. This isn't, Spence is scared, Bud is scared. We don't do that here. We don't think no fighter is scared. Now, we do think fighters make business decisions based off of risk versus reward. And if you look at Errol makes big money. Jaron Ennis isn't going to get Errol any more money than what he makes now, but Terrence Crawford will. And Jaron Ennis is a tough fight. So which one would I rather do? Take Terrence Crawford, take Keith Thurman for more money, or the possibly tougher fight, young dude, hungry, Jaron Ennis? All right, my man Christian Carazana. Spence is too heavy off of his lead foot, which is why he lacks the speed to adjust the boots coming at him from different angles. That's a good point. Benjamin Bryant, so you're saying business-wise, it doesn't make sense to fight Boots. I think Boots is going to catch on eventually. Yeah. Errol Spence doesn't need that belt. Errol Spence doesn't need that belt to sell pay-per-views or to sell a fight with Terrence Crawford. He doesn't need it. His name is his belt. He doesn't need any belt. He's past that point. Neither does Terrence Crawford. They don't need to be champions. You're still going to watch that fight. There's not going to be an undisputed at welterweight anytime soon. So throw it out the window. The WBA solidified that. So, yeah. Whether he gives up the IBF or not, is that going to stop you from watching? Nope. Bud has that dog, though. Yeah, Bud's a dog. Bud's a killer. All right, my man, 560. Boots time is now going to clean out the division within 2 years. I can see that. I can really, really see that. Hold on, I gotta send the link.
Bro, I still think Thurman's the wild card in all this shit, dog. I really do.
Yes, he definitely is though.
Because
Thurman.
you think about it like this: if you're Spence's management, you're gonna have three options: Crawford, Boots, or Thurman. Bro, I think they go Thurman, dog.
I mean, Thurman is the less dangerous fight because, well, first Thurman sells. I don't. I'm not sure if people know, but Thurman's attendance and pay-per-view numbers have always been good, always. And Thurman doesn't fight at home like a Terrence Crawford, where he sells at home. No, Thurman sells anywhere. Thurman sells in Vegas. Thurman sells in Cali. Thurman sells in New York. It doesn't matter. So I could definitely see that happening. All right, Lone Ranger. Spence is on the decline. I don't believe he wants to fight. Just make easy money. Crawford and Boots is the epic fight to be made. Boots got
But
that dog too. You damn
honestly,
right.
bro, after seeing the last fight, if I'm Spence's team, bro, I try making that fight. I try making Spence Crawford right now.
Bringing in my man JR from the boxing source. What up, Jay?
Yo, checking in. What's up?
What's good? I'm gonna get a couple comments and then I want your thoughts. All right, Doughboy. I don't care what nobody says. Jaron Ennis is a problem. Now that means you got good eyes. That kid, yo, and he's a nice kid. Like he's a really good kid wrapped in a serial killer. No lie. Like I've seen some shit. I've seen him do some shit. Jordan Goodwin, Ortiz ducked Avanesian. I can't say ducked him. Certain everybody has a specific path that their promoter sets them on. Now, if it doesn't, if whatever a sanctioning body orders or somebody calling them out, if it isn't along that path, then they're not going to do it. Because at the end of the day, this is a business to them. Somebody's actually fronting money to make money back. And if they don't feel like they're going to make any money back, they're not going to do it. All right, Damone Daniels. Does this latest news give Bud more leverage in Spence fight knowing this information with Boots? You got damn right, Damone. Spence is stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's stuck. He's stuck. And only two people can get him out of it, like Brandon says. Terrence Crawford, Keith Thurman. That's it. Oh, and those are fights that he's been reluctant to take for whatever reason. For whatever reason, business or personal, he's been reluctant to go into those fights. Wish Rashidi Ellis was in the mix. GK Black, Rashidi Ellis will be out of his Golden Boy contract in January. That's what I was told. So he'll be back in the mix in no time. Nobody gonna beat that kid at 47. Yeah, it ain't looking like it. JR, you got the floor. Get him.
All right, yeah, we talking about this thing here with Jaron Boots Ennis. I gotta see what's up with the IBF, because with the of course with the situation of Kudratillo losing to Cody Crowley last night, that takes Kudratillo off that number one spot. I can't necessarily confirm the thing on the IBF rankings because they had number two vacant. So we got to see if they're going to put Boots number one first, and then after that, if they're going to go forward with having that mandatory order. But since Errol Spence hadn't defended the IBF against its mandatory in over 2 years plus, then they got to be able to do something quick and then order the IBF. That's on one side. But the other thing was, as far as like the rumor, like I was saying in the last conversation, if it makes money, then it makes sense. If they're able to put up the money for Spence versus Crawford, then you're gonna see it. Now, where it's going to be, I say it would be in Vegas. Can't be anywhere else. I know that that other dude is over there in Dubai. That would make no sense to have a fight between Spence and Crawford over in Dubai. It would make zero sense.
Who are you referring to? Daniel Kinahan?
Yeah, that guy. Well, some people consider him as a fugitive, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so they're not gonna have a fight of that magnitude in Dubai. It's not gonna make money at the gate in Dubai as much as it would in Vegas, and it wouldn't make pay-per-view numbers in Dubai as it would in Vegas. Like nowhere near that. They're trying to get it about 400 to 500 pay-per-view buys for Spence versus Crawford. So why in the world would you put it in Dubai if you're trying to do that? Like
I doubt that any network would want afternoon pay-per-view.
Yeah, afternoon pay-per-view on a Saturday. I don't care what time of the year it is. They ain't gonna do that. And most likely this fight would be on Fox. They'd be all over it. It'd be on Fox. And they're not gonna be selling no pay-per-view in the middle of the afternoon in April or May. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. So you're gonna go ahead and try to go for this fight and say, look, because I think Spence's clock is ticking as far as like trying to get down to 147. So remember, his plans to try to have those fights at 147 before he moved up happened a couple of years ago. That was of course before this whole lockdown pandemic stuff. So that schedule has been altered a little bit. So you're gonna have to go for it and try to get this fight done ASAP. Now that's why when people were talking about, oh, we see Spence there in attendance, and he just shakes his head and he gets up and he leaves. They're being scared. I'm like, yo,
no details. Okay.
No, as far as like that one.
No, as far as another conversation, no details.
Okay.
All right, you can give it vague. Okay.
All right. Now I'm just saying, like at the time, like I say, okay, he was there at that fight, and Crawford was there at the Spence Garcia fight. Then why didn't Crawford step into the ring then? But they don't want to answer that question. But when it came to Spence and seeing him leaving, it was like, oh, he's scared. No, nobody's scared. It's business.
Yo, everybody does that. Like
everybody does that. So
any celebrity, they get right out of there. And we're guys that actually do interviews, so we gotta literally like catch them as soon as the fight's over, put a camera in their face,
put the camera in their face.
They're walking.
Walk when they're walking. Like for example, I mean, I was doing that when I was there for Spence Crawford. Who did I end up getting to? Got to Rolly Romero. Got to David Hay. Got to Josh Taylor. Got to Devin Haney. Almost got to Tank while he was leaving, but it was just so Tank had, of course, his thing to get going. So a lot of those fighters were out there. So if anything, y'all saw Errol Spence. People talking about Errol Spence when he was leaving the Mandalay Bay, but that always happens. So some of these fans just don't get in reference to that. But hey, yeah. We'll see what happens here in the next, 4 to 6 weeks.
All right, let me get to these comments real fast. So be it. EJ ain't ducking wreck. Bring that pup. Hey, bro. That pup is a full-grown wolf. He's like nothing that you've seen since Roy. He is something completely different. Like, I need y'all to understand. You are looking at a generational talent, a freak of nature. EJ gonna watch that dude. No, EJ gonna get his ass knocked out. Keep it a being with you. And I think Spence is a really good fighter. Spence is going to the Hall of Fame. He's gonna get his ass knocked out. Bud too. So don't think that I'm biased. And yeah, are those guys capable of beating Boots? Yeah. So you got your opinion. If you say, man, Spence and Bud beat Boots, I'll say, okay, that's your opinion. I don't agree. I'm not going to tell you it's impossible, but y'all need to understand that 31 years old with bad habits detached retina, car accident, body shooting through a windshield, and a guy being 34 years old and 135 pounder that moves up. That ain't gonna be what gets it done. All right, he ain't vacating shit. Come take it. He's gonna vacate. Eric, you speaking from a point of bravado and as a fan, business sense, it doesn't make sense for him to take that fight. He's not going to do it. It's a fight that he can lose, and that will cost him future earnings. He's not stupid. Well, I'm sorry. Al Haymond's not stupid. Thurman not beating Barrios. Thurman's going to stop Barrios. EJ want to fight, though? He don't want to fight Boots. EJ wants big fights that's going to make EJ big money. Why Bud don't fight for the other belt, it may be better for the EJ fight, but that's because Ugas is going to be tied up for all of 2022. So it don't even make no sense. If he look like vacating when he wants to be undisputed, ain't going to be no undisputed, Eric. Ain't going to be no. EJ can't stay around at 147 pounds that long. Like I said, Ugas is tied up. So, no, it's not happening. EJ vacating is a duck. Kinda. It's a business duck, but yeah. Yeah, it's a duck. That was 2 years ago. He ain't drinking no more. He's still drinking. He may not be drinking and driving, but he's still drinking. Doughboy, Jaron Ennis is on another level. You damn right. You damn right. And I know people was going to say because I'm a homer. I'm from Philly. I know the kid. But I'm also a realist. So, nah, man, he's special.
For those that didn't tune into the last live that we were on earlier this week or last week, I'm not from Philly. I'm based in the DC area, but I've been of course, Miller's been in gyms in Philly and across different parts of the East Coast and the country. I've been in different gyms across the country. I've spoke with various different fighters out there. When I say that I have not seen any fighter that hasn't co-signed Boots Ennis, I mean that. Shakur Stevenson says it.
Hey, wait 1 second, Jay. Hey, Damone Daniels, I'm completely sorry. They didn't even send me a notification, bro. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. My bad. It didn't even pull up, so I'm sorry. Underestimating IQ and experience with Bud versus Boots. I mean, Boots' IQ is really, really high, but Bud definitely has the experience advantage. And that's not something to be taken lightly. I just think that at Bud's age, 34 years old, if it had been Bud at 30, it would have been, in my eyes, a more competitive fight. But let's acknowledge that Bud isn't no spring chicken, even though he's a great fighter. He ain't no spring chicken. And this is what happens. This is what happens to great fighters. When they get old, the next guy comes along and knocks them off. Go ahead, finish, Jeff.
Like, there have been multiple fighters across the country in different weight classes of co-sign Boots, and says that he's the guy. They don't say like it's Virgil Ortiz. They don't say like it's freaking like a Blair Cobbs or somebody else that's part of the younger generation of 147 pounders. They all say it's Bruce Ennis. And if these other fighters say it that are in different divisions, those fighters that are within the division kind of know that too. And they know that, it's a business decision if they want to go ahead and fight Boots. Now, earlier this year, I've been up there over at the gym where Boots is at. And, I spoke with his dad and trainer, Bozy Ennis. And he said, like, in reference to a potential fight between Boots and Sean Porter, that it was pretty much like out of the question because he knew that it would be a business decision. Like, they're not going to risk their spot and risk their financial status by fighting the Boots Ennis. At least not at this point or their point of their careers. So if y'all understood that with Sean Porter, and as we later found out that Sean Porter had his last fight with Terrence Crawford.
Mhm.
So what makes people think that a Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence or a Keith Thurman will try to risk their status to fight a young up-and-coming fighter that's very skilled, power on both hands, speed on both hands, and can move?
I feel you. Hey Jay, I need you to help me with these comments. We got a lot of them. NK True Trap, you damn right. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place, or a boot and a bud. Boots Bud is a 50-50 fight. Y'all act like Boots is a light heavyweight. To be honest with you, he's a middleweight masquerading as a welterweight.
As a welterweight.
If you see this dude when he's not cutting weight, it's fucking huge, man. Ernest Terry, the IBF is strict. Earl's last IBF Mando was 2018. The pandemic and Earl getting into a car accident allowed him to be able to circumvent him fighting his IBF Mando.
And also Kudratillo's business situation too.
Yeah, the visa situation. Because Kudratillo Abdukakhorov was supposed to fight an eliminator, it didn't never happen. They couldn't institute a mandatory. So basically, Earl benefited off of that.
Well, that's one. Kudratillo was at the time when he initially got it, he was I think under Top Rank, so there was that difficulty. And then you got to also take into account like I said, the whole thing with the business thing with him getting off the Top Rank and then kind of like going over to like Heyman Boxing or TGB or whatever it is, and then you had the whole thing about him trying to get his visas and stuff like that because he could have fought earlier this year, but he had visa issues. Of course, the whole travel restrictions, all that type of stuff, that was another issue. So him fighting, that's why I like him having that fight against Cody Crowley. When they announced that, I was like shocked because it's like it's so difficult for him to try to get in a position to have a fight over here on this side of the world. So when he did get it, then he went ahead and had the fight, and we seen that he got himself beat up a little bit.
So my man Packer fan 12, why couldn't the IBF adjust the split percentage like the WBO did when Crawford versus Porter was going to purse bid? The IBF can look at both fighters' last purses and adjust splits. I think they will go by what's in their bylaws, and I would have to actually go and look at all that stuff with the IBF to really give you a legitimate answer. So don't get me the line. Guys, Virgil is number one for the WBC, so who knows? Boots and Virgil fight in the eliminator. Either way, I got Boots winning. Verge, he declined the David Avanesian, the David Avanesian eliminator. So who knows? YSM, when is the podcast coming soon, man? Talk to Brandon, man. Brandon's BSing. So the reason why we don't have a podcast yet is Brandon. When in doubt, blame my Mexican brother.
Don't say that. You'll get the Mexicans coming.
I'm the Mexican president of YSM.
Brandon deals with anything Mexican, okay, on his channel. Anything Mexican that you got to take it to Brandon, man.
Anything Mexican or Latino, anything Cuban, Puerto Rican, Guatemalan, Honduran, I got you.
My man Cameron Harris, do we run the risk not seeing Terrence and Earl fight at all if either of them fight Boots first? Yes. Boots isn't like Floyd where you take a fight with Floyd because you're not going to get hurt. You'll get embarrassed, but you won't get hurt. Boots will hurt you. And Boots could ruin the fight that everybody wanted to see at 47 pounds, easily.
It's a difference when you lose by decision or by a TKO stoppage. You know what I mean? Dudes are never. A lot of dudes are never the same after a stoppage or getting knocked out.
My man Tony Price, I'm from Philly, 66 in 18th Street, Uptown. Yo, business is a beast, but he don't beat Spence nor Crawford, period, I disagree with you. But shouts out to you from Uptown. Do me a favor in the comments, right? Tell me how either Spence or Bud beats Boots. Do that for me. Risk versus reward. Fear of losing for nothing. Operative word, fear. Damn, Ernest. Damn. You make a good point. But it don't really mean you're scared, though. It just means you're being cautious business-wise. Thurman is washed. We won't find out until he gets in the ring.
Don't duck me, son.
Hurt or not, it's still 3 years. Don't duck me. Don't duck me, son. Thurman versus Boots, Virgil versus Ugas, Crawford versus Spence. Shit, I wouldn't mind seeing all of that. Or Boots versus Ugas, Virgil versus Thurman. Oh man, tax tack. What a fake narrative. There's no fake narrative. I keep everything a being. This is not a narrative-based channel. Not at all. That's not what we do here, yo. I'm a man Packer fan. I think Spence and his entire camp know that if a governing body requests both Earl and Bud's last 3 fighter purses, the splits will be like 55-45. Crawford gets paid, and Earl and his camp knows it. Yeah. Bud has a good guarantee, and if you didn't know that PBC fighters, they have a very unique way of getting paid. Let me just say that. So, just like how you don't like to bang out with the tax man, we do that. How does Thurman sell more than Bud? This dude is a low-key Bud hater. How does Thurman sell more than Bud? The analytics.
There's ways that people can find out how much money that these fights for Thurman and for Crawford get, with the exception of just one fight, and that is the last fight that Terrence Crawford had with Sean Porter. Why? Because they recently said that they will not disclose the box office reports for those events in Las Vegas. So
doesn't Thurman and Danny Garcia still have the record for a non-basketball event in the Barclays?
The Barclays probably does.
Okay.
Cool. So, but all of those box office reports, most likely you can look those up and find out how much the gates are for those fights. But you can't do it here anymore for Las Vegas.
Hey yo, I'm not going to get tied up in y'all civil war. The Crawford versus Spence and both fan bases being sensitive whenever you say something critical about their fighter. That ain't me, bro. Both guys have their strong points. Both guys are wrong and hypocritical in certain situations. I call a spade a spade. Keith Thurman sells more than Terrence Crawford. Like, you're basing yours off of feelings and you being a fan. I'm not. I'm basing mine off of legitimate numbers. If you go and you look at Terrence Crawford's attendance and ticket prices as opposed to Keith Thurman's tickets and attendance prices, Keith Thurman's pay-per-views and Terrence Crawford's pay-per-views, it's not close. Sorry. Facts over feelings.
Let's see, who did he fight? He fought Guerrero. He fought Porter. He fought Garcia. He's fought Manny Pacquiao. Thurman pulls those numbers, man, especially when it was on Fox. So, listen, Thurman is that's why, people saying, why are they having Thurman versus Barrios on pay-per-view? Well, because of how much Thurman makes and Thurman sells.
You think that it's by happen chance that they bringing this dude back after more than 2 years off and putting him on pay-per-view?
It's Keith Thurman, folks.
Shit is right. This is Jaron Ennis isn't ready for Spence. He needs to get in line and wait for his turn. Well, he's in the head of the line. That's what being the number one contender means, bro. He
I
did
was I
win
was
his tournament.
I was gonna continue on Thurman. Did y'all forget when there was talk about potentially Terrence Crawford fighting Keith Thurman, and what were the offers that were sent to Keith Thurman that Keith Thurman made public, where he was like, "Come on, Bob, come on, Bob." Like they were trying to send him like $1 million offer. And then you had the whole thing with Bo Mack saying that, oh, it was $5 million, when that rumor was pretty much shot down quick. So y'all gotta understand, Keith Thurman pulls in money, and they know that. But listen, even if Thurman was gonna ask for $5 million, what is wrong with that? Given that it's Keith Thurman and what he's done in the box office.
Hey, Donald Taylor says Earl don't have no bad habits. Y'all tripping. Ain't nobody beating Spence. So Earl went through the windshield because of what?
Like that was over 2 years ago. There's listen, y'all, listen. There's a couple of people that I could contact, two-prong, and say, hey, what is up with Spence right now? Is he about the business or is he not? And I'm talking about when he's at home. So if he's still on that, the and all that, one way or another, we will be able to find out.
I mean,
But
like at the end of the day, when analyzing a fight, I'm just looking at everything in its totality. I hope Earl is in great health. I hope Earl,
right.
got everything together, got his head together and all that. But if you want to tell me that he doesn't have any bad habits, like that's just you being disingenuous or naive. He does. And
we've seen it.
Like regular human beings have bad habits. And I'm not trying to condemn him for it. I'm just acknowledging that when I make my prediction. So my man Jay said, Houston, we have a problem. Yeah. Tax tag. Thurman only had one pay-per-view fight, and that was Manny Pacquiao ASAP. But that still counts on his pay-per-views because
it still counts pay-per-view because
he headlined the card along with Manny Pacquiao.
Early in that year, you had Manny Pacquiao versus Adrian Broner. You could compare the numbers from that Pacquiao Broner and Pacquiao Thurman.
Pacquiao Thurman did what, 500,000?
It was around 500,000.
Yeah, so that's collectively better than any that one pay-per-view is better than anything Crawford's done in 3 collectively. So yeah. Rashidi versus Boots, Black Chopstick, great fight. I would love to see it. When are we going to box Canelo in? You can't box Canelo in.
You can't box him in. They tried that already. Trust me, they tried it already.
Bro, Canelo drops belts. Like, bro, Canelo drop a belt in a heartbeat. He don't give a fuck.
Like,
this Canelo will never fight Mandos. At least dangerous ones.
All right.
Trap Media says Rashidi been a pro since 2013. Ain't for nobody. Now he just beat Alex Roca, undefeated up and comer. That was a good win. So yeah.
Manny Pacquiao, Adrian Broner had 400,000. Pacquiao versus Thurman had about 500,000.
Hey Richard, exactly. He number 1 in line. So nah, man. Oh wait, is it? Oh man, is it the best? Is it the best? Where's my guy at, man? Shouts out to my boy, Pound for Pound Sports Entertainment. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. We know you getting that good overtime money, fresh off of vacation. I want to be just like you.
Yeah, he getting that PTO money.
Yeah, man. He's sitting right now. He probably got a tropical drink in the crib, watching the Ravens game.
Oh well, that Ravens joint. Ooh.
Hey y'all, it's a lot of comments, y'all. It's like,
yeah, man.
I am swamped. I really appreciate the love. I'm gonna try to get through all of them. JR, Brandon, y'all gotta help me with these comments, man.
Let me see. Yeah, you pretty much down there. So let me see which one you got. Packer fan.
Jaron Ennis fans, let him skip the line without fighting anyone with a chance to win. Jaron could fight Castillo, David Avenesian, and Mean Machine. Hey, bro, why do you have an issue with Boots getting this fight? You sound nervous to me, bro.
Yo, like
He earned his.
hold on.
Ocampo got his shot. Mean Machine got his shot.
Where-
Benavidez got his shot.
Yo,
Why
where's
can't
that
Boots?
one? Where's that one? 'Cause he got another one down the line, man.
All right, my
Hold
man,
on.
Full of Sports, tough choice to make. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yo, hold on. Where you at? Cause I don't know what time part you at. But yo, Packer. Oh, I see where you at. Yo, Packer fan said something about
Wait,
amnesia.
wait.
Oh shit.
We'll get to him, Jay. When I studied Boots, he's a bigger version of Crawford. Even in the amateurs, we all felt like he was Bud 2.0 with some Roy Jones. Yeah, I can see that.
You
He
know
reminds
what?
me of like Roy Jones mixed with Ray Leonard.
You know what? Crawford sees it too. He said it. He
He
sees
said he's
it.
getting a National Guard treatment. Yeah, man. Yeah. Black Chopstick, I wish we knew what Spence conditioning was like before the big Yeah. 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 I mean, I would like Spence to take a tune up, honestly. I want him versus Boots at his best, but shit. He didn't let Brooke get a tune up when he broke his face. So it is what it is. GK Black, thanks for the info, YSM. Ellis has talent. Yeah, he does, man. He definitely does. I think Ellis should be in the conversation, to be honest with you. The Moon Daniels, YSM, can you rank your top 5 welterweights as of today? Okay, so if I'm going to include, are we going to include fighters being active? So if we don't include fighters being active, it'd be Spence, Crawford, Thurman, Boots, Ugas. If we're including fighters that's just active, then Spence, Crawford, Boots, Virgil, Ugas, in no order. When is the last time Boots fought a Black American fighter in the pros? He ducking Blair. Blair? Hey, yo. Y'all the same dudes that say y'all want Boots to step up in competition, right? So he made himself the Mando for Errol Spence Jr., the unified champion of the world. And you're talking about Blair Cobbs, a 31 who's turning 32 in December 30th. I think he got like 15 fights and he's ranked 44th in the world. Yeah, he's ducking Blair. Yeah, sure. David Avenesian has a win over an undefeated prospect, Olympic medalist Josh Kelly, and a win over washed up Shane Mosley. Better resume than Ennis, though. Okay, so Josh Kelly's better than former world champion Sergey Lipinets? What has Josh Kelly ever won? Shit, didn't Josh Kelly get a gift decision against Ray Robinson? Shit, Audley Harrison was an Olympic gold medalist. Y'all throw that shit around like that's the end all be all. Packer fan, if you don't stop. Packer fan, you got me thinking that you really Bud or Bud family member, man. That's what you got me thinking. Cop killer, Jay Petty, Crawford, former manager. This is former promoter, but Bob Arum didn't want to make the fights between him and Spence because he knew his fighter was going to lose. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Bob wanted this Spence fight. He just didn't want any of those other fights in the division because he knew that Bud couldn't carry him in order for it to sell. Cameron Harris Spence has said His trainer will not be working with him past the age of 34, so time is ticking. Yeah. Can't blame Bob no more. You right about that?
Can't blame
Right
Bob, but they could blame somebody else that's very involved in Terrence Crawford's career.
I wonder who that is.
If people had been listening
Aggravating
over the
Boots
past
said-
week, they would know.
The exact same thing that champions and former champions said to Boots, and wonder why some people don't believe the hype. You don't gotta believe it. You don't gotta believe it.
This guy.
Tell Earl to get in that ring. Tell Bud to get in that ring. Watch what happens. Simple as that. Hey, Packer fan, you keep screaming Blair, right? You keep talking about resumes. Name one person Blair beat. It's all about protection for Spence. This dude get protected on YouTube like he Muhammad Ali. We ain't trying to protect Spence. We trying to get Spence in that ring. We trying to bring that belt back to Philly. That's what we want. Eye test Boots is a top 5 talent. Standpoint in boxing. A few years he beats everyone. 160 down, maybe Canelo too. Canelo ain't going back to 160. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Boots hasn't fought a fighter in the pros. Sergey Lipinus is a former world champion. Thomas Delorme is a contender. Yo, isn't Stanionis getting a title shot based off of him beating Thomas Delorme?
Yeah, that's crazy that he is standing on the beats Delorme, and because he's beating Delorme, he could be put in the tournament. But with Boots, it's whatever.
Yeah, nobody is questioning his life and death win, close decision win against Thomas Delorme, but y'all questioning Boots leaving Thomas Delorme like this. This is how he was. He looked like he was waiting for a warm rag.
But I mean, we both know the situation. So like I said, once you said some type of protection. In a way, it's a protection, but we know that if Boots did one certain thing, and he would get the go ahead to go after a certain person. But
oh yeah, if Boots if Boots signed with that man,
yeah,
it's
that's what folks don't know. Only reason that you haven't really seen Boots in the like the high profile fights, or like in prime time or main event and stuff, is because of the situation. His business situation. If he signed with that man, then you would see him prime time.
Mama, there goes that man. My man 560 Crowley gave Boots an IBF gift last night. Yes. And when I see him, I'm gonna tell him that he better send Crowley an edible arrangement.
Oh man. Oh yo. Man.
Where's Boots ranked and where's Blair ranked? Boots is actually ranked 7th, and Blair is ranked 44th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
because that's a step up. That's a step up fight.
Yeah, step up fight when Blair is like 44th, or like in that premier boxing organization. He ain't even ranked in the top 30. But it's supposed to be a step up fight for Boots.
Hey, Packer fan, just stop.
See, this is what I was talking about.
Just stop, bro. Just stop, man. Come on, bro.
He said,
I appreciate you coming here. I appreciate you coming here. I appreciate you giving your take. Damn, bro. Come on, man. You're killing me. You're killing me, Petey.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
I don't know, man. Reginald Oldesby, Bud didn't get in the ring at the Garcia fight because Spence fans were trying to maul him There's footage of this.
He should got it out the butt.
Damone Daniels, 3 years. And this is a full middleweight. Yeah, you might be right. His dad was a middleweight. His brother was a super middleweight. And the other brother was a junior middleweight and middleweight. So, yeah, I can see that. Boots getting away with ducking black fighters coming up. Hey, yo, how is Blair coming up when Blair be 32 years old this month? That's not a fighter coming up. Stop it.
Oh, man.
Y'all be hyping Boots. Oh, well, who is he beating besides tomato cans? If you call a former world champion with only loss was to Mikey Garcia a tomato can, then okay. Cool.
They don't want to hear that clip
the
from
whole welterweight division. Yeah, I can see that.
Folks talk about tomato cans. Don't want to hear that clip from my guy. It said, "Hey, y'all ain't even stepped in the ring for 1 minute, much less 3 minutes. And y'all want to call these fighters tomato cans and bums and all that?" You're like, okay. I'm like, all right. You keep talking. Jalil Hackett said, "Hey," he said, for all those that want to call those fighters bums and tomato cans, he said, you can die in that ring. You can't die behind that computer.
No. He better go the Virgil route, bro. Hit with Virgil ass too.
Oh yeah, he whoop him.
I mean, if you want to be the best, you got to go after the best. And right now, Spence will be considered the best fighter at 147 pounds. I don't know why y'all so mad at him for wanting to take on this challenge. Like, do y'all get mad at Ryan Garcia for not, for not going after a belt? I'm curious. Jaime Munguia for not going after a belt? Like, come on, man. Y'all got to stop that, man. Let that kid be great. Trap Media USA belts don't matter. Now they can't. Undisputed. He said only 2 more fights at 147. Yeah, man. Spence not fighting Boots until 54. I'm not sure if he ever fights him.
Oh, hold up.
What?
Hey, you got a contribution too. I'm looking like further down, man. You got a contribution from Dirty Red. Shout out to Dirty Red, man.
Yo, man. Y'all dudes are really, really, really active today, man.
Oh man, yo, yeah, that
so
overtime check coming in for real.
I appreciate y'all. Oh, shouts out to my man Dirty Red. If EJ and Bud don't make this fight, then I want the Young Dogs, Boots and Virgil to come kick in the door and wreck shop. Yo, I agree. They are holding up boxing with this Civil War. So Boots is the man though right now. My man, drop that belt or fight him. Go fight Bud. Simple. Go fight Bud, move up. Let the young dudes have a crack at it. Shouts out to Dirty Red, man. He was on the last live, bro. I appreciate you so much. And anybody in the chat, even Packer fan who's trolling, man, I appreciate y'all for even stopping by, man.
Yeah. So
Man, Damone Daniels, Shakur, and Boots will battle for future #1 pound for pound. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
They definitely the goods. Hey, yo. Shit, man. Whew. Hey, yo. Looking at all these comments is daunting. I don't know how Fanon and them do this shit.
Nah, man. I wouldn't listen. If I would have had this many comments, I wouldn't be going through all of them, man. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Yo,
Sports Hub says, don't disrespect Bud. Come on, bro. I'm not being biased. I'm keeping it a bean. However you feel about Bud, that's your opinion. I think he's a great fighter. I just think the kid gets him.
Jay Marley, that next comment.
Boots different. Niggas stay in the gym. Fam don't even look like he got a girl yet. 147 in trouble. Porter been told y'all, hey, he not no square though. He not. Don't think that he's a square. He ain't a square.
Right.
He's just a good kid that loves boxing.
Yeah, man. What is it? Big up the Machiavelli Mafia man tuning in.
Oh, okay. Yo, StreamYard really ain't that good. Ain't that good with that. All right, shouts out to my man Machiavelli Mafia. What's good, bro? What's good? People are mad. Boots has a fan base, but if EJ is Bird and Bud is Magic, then Boots is MJ. Wow, that's a good synopsis. That's a good synopsis, man. MJ come along, people take note. Not comparing them to those greats, but you get me. Boots is next up. Yeah, that is definitely a really, really good parallel. A really good parallel.
Yeah.
All right, my man Damone Daniels says, who do you see as Boots' possible toughest future opponent? At 147 pounds, obviously Spencer Crawford. At 154 pounds, Brian Castano. Maybe like an Erickson Lubin.
I don't know, man. Some people ain't sold on Lubin. I don't know why, but they sold on Lubin. They thinking he might get tore up by Fundora next year.
Lions Truth. Yeah, that was a good synopsis, man. It's very similar. Do yourself a favor and come to Texas and watch EJ. Oh, yeah, I would like to go to a Spence fight, man. I definitely like to go to a Spence fight. A lot of people don't know I went to college in Texas, so I'm really familiar. Our country boys are strong, man. My man Jeffrey Bailey, no one that enters the ring is a bum. It takes a lot to just train for. Yeah, let alone get in there and get busy. You're 100% right, man.
Yeah, some of y'all need to go back and watch some videos where he was, holding that body pads and getting hit by these fighters over at these gyms, man.
Oh, yo. Okay, let's talk about that. So I've put the bodysuit on and I've gone with the smaller guys. Yo, you calling dudes a bum? Them smaller guys will knock the air out of your lungs with the bodysuit. I can only imagine with dudes my size or bigger. Yeah, man. Them dudes is punching.
Yeah, like
I try to
especially
pride myself from being in the gym.
like the thing about it is like,
Kevin
man,
Jones, stop ducking the question. When is the last time Boots fought a Black American in the pros? Okay, so you're talking about Boots like he is, already established fighter coming up. But let's see in the pros. Let's see.
all right, I'm gonna pull up the rec. I'm gonna pull up the rec, right? Is it Bruce? AI Bruce? Nah. He's from Ghana, so
Yeah. Last dude was what? He fought a couple of dudes: Chris Alexander, Marcus Beckford, James Winchester.
yeah.
Yeah. Do this though. Tell Earl to get in the ring, Kevin. He's the man. Tell Earl to get in the ring, and then he'll be the next one. Keep it a being with you. All your favorite 147, 154 prospects that's coming up. I done seen them come through the gym, get their ass whipped. But you think it's a black fighter thing? I done seen them come through the ring and get their ass whipped. Even some that's giving A-list fighters trouble. I ain't gonna say his name, but you can surmise what I'm talking about. You heard the rumors. Those rumors are true.
What was
Very
that?
true. I said he's trying to paint the picture that Boots ducks black fighters.
Oh,
But if we look at it, he's trying to secure a fight with Earl. Sean Porter said he wouldn't fight him. Thurman doesn't know who he is.
and there was another river. There was a whole nother thing about a certain fighter that was a former champion at 140 that folks claim that Boots Duckman. That's a whole entire lie.
Oh, you talking about what, Antoine?
No, not him. I said a former champion.
Oh,
at
former
140.
champion at 40? Johnny
Yeah.
Ortiz. What up, Johnny? My man Tax Spence fans shook. They about to show y'all Ennis fans what it's like to deal with them Spencer weirdos. Oh, man. Yo, Bud fans and Spence fans, y'all be gang war. All right. My man Carter says Earl beats them. Let's find out. Get him in the ring. Yo, ain't no split talk over here, yo. Ain't no split talk. He don't care about who the A side is. He don't care about what that split is. Get in the ring. Tell Earl to get in the ring. Ain't no politics over here. He was Steven Espinosa. Tell Earl to get in the ring. Let him come find out what it is, man. No talking, no arguing, no bickering back and forth. The young boy wants smoke, yo. Ain't that Free Smoke Jr.? Ain't that your man name? Free Smoke Jr.? The young boy's looking for the smoke. What's Spence going to do? Hey, Kevin Jones, right? You saying you want him in the ring with a black fighter. Well, he's the man, though. If Earl vacate, what that tell you? I'll wait. Oh, my man Johnny went the leg. Oh, Johnny. Johnny about to go in.
Oh, man.
Hey, y'all, for the last 15 minutes, I'm going to post the link in the chat, and I'm going to let y'all cook. Cook me, cook whoever. Don't matter. My man Damone Daniels. I watched Boots versus Antoine Russell in the amateurs. I don't know about now, but he struggled a little bit with Russell's pressure, and that was years ago. Only thing I seen that he had a little trouble. Well, Antoine's a really, really good fighter, and that was in the amateurs. I felt like, well, what are they? They're 3-2 in the amateurs, so they've given each other problems. But I can say if they fought now, Boots is the much bigger man. I don't think that pressure would bother him. Not from Antoine, at least.
Man, Boots is, like you said, he could pretty much come up as a middleweight. While, Antoine could freaking make 135 if he wanted to.
I watched Boots versus Gary Anton amateurs. I don't know about now, but he struggled a little bit with Russell's pressure. I know it was years ago. Only thing I seen that he had a little trouble. What's popping though? It's kind of sound different now. I'm on here compared to when I was just listening. You kind of sound like a little, but I can still hear.
This is my man Johnny Ortiz. If you need a link to anything, Johnny Ortiz is your man. Go ahead, Johnny. Cook.
No, I'm just, I'm watching people talk. You put Damone and Daniels. I watched Boots versus Gary Antoine Russell in the amateurs. I don't know about now, but he struggled a little bit with Russell's pressure, and I know it was years ago. Only thing I seen that he had a little trouble. I always reply back to that is, one, that was amateurs. Two, Boots was making 141. So when you're in the amateurs and you win a lot, you gotta make weight every day. So imagine having to go on the scale and make 141 every day.
That's a good point, Johnny.
So people could keep that in mind.
My man
Who has Boots beat that you think?
Who has Boots beat?
No
that you
disrespect
think
to the
he
truth.
can beat
I'm from
Earl. Y'all
Camden,
very
Jersey, and
disrespectful
been a
to the
boxing
truth.
fan.
I'm from Camden, New Jersey, and I've been a boxing fan for over 50
My uncle
years.
was
And my
a
uncle.
weight champ.
All
First
right,
of all,
so
I'm tired of that. Who did Boots beat? Who did Boots beat? Who did Earl beat that you think you could beat Boots?
all right, yo,
we have an issue with these fans talking about when a fighter was brought up as a potential opponent, and the fans say, well, who did he beat?" Listen, like, these fighters that either have titles or at a high status, sometimes they get to the point where they could choose whoever they want to fight. So if you get somebody like a Gennady Golovkin or Canelo Alvarez who ends up fighting like a fighter that you probably ain't even heard of, and y'all don't even question that, but when it's somebody that's a potential threat that could beat him, it's like, oh, well, who did he beat? Nah. If you're a fighter, you should be able to challenge anybody and everybody, and that includes, in this instance, with Errol Spence and Boots Ennis. You know what I'm saying? So if Boots says that he wants to challenge Errol Spence, just like he said after he got his fight over Thomas Delorme, then Errol Spence should be like, hey, what's up then? You want to go ahead for it? Then let's do it. What we know the situation is that he knows the biggest or most lucrative fight that he has in his professional career is right in front of him, and that's what he's going to end up taking. So if that ends up meaning that he's going to give up that IBF belt, so be it. But, like, listen, it's not like, Boots ain't ready for that challenge of Errol Spence. He is.
But here's my thing with the Errol
he
Spence
don't
fans,
play
right?
boxing.
Hey Jay, I want to make a point real fast.
I'm an Earl. I like Earl. I like Errol Spence. But here's my thing. Where was that same energy when Errol Spence was chasing after Keith Thurman? Where was that same energy? Who did Errol
fight at that point?
Shows that he could beat Keith Thurman.
Man down.
Where was people saying that?
Free Smoke Jr.
I personally thought off of the style, even though Earl didn't show it to an opponent yet until he got to Kell Brook, that style was going to give Keith Thurman trouble because Earl is good at going to the body and he keeps that pressure on you.
Hey Johnny, I got a couple questions to ask you and JR in the whole chat. Who did Cassius Clay beat to let you know that he was going to beat Sonny Liston? Who? Doug Jones?
It's just certain matchups.
Wait, who did George Kambosos beat to let you think that he was going to beat Teofimo Lopez? Who did Andy Ruiz beat to let you think that he would beat Anthony Joshua?
Who did Teofimo Lopez beat who made y'all think that he would be able to beat Vasyl Lomachenko? Like, you're talking to about two people that believed in Teofimo Lopez beating Vasyl Lomachenko. But when that fight was made, y'all were like, oh, Vasyl Lomachenko gonna wash him. Like, come on, man.
Hey, yo, so my man said Earl's going to move up, not vacate. Same thing.
If he move up, he got to vacate.
Yeah, he has to vacate.
Same thing.
Like,
get out of Dodge.
That's like the thing with Tank Davis right now in his situation. He got the 140 belt, he got a 135 belt, and he's keeping 135 belt. So guess what? He's vacating 140.
My man Machiavelli Mafia, it don't matter if someone is ranked 5th behind the Golden Girls. If you beat them, you rank number 1 and get your shot. People gotta chill.
Yeah.
No, it's facts though, but that's why I don't be getting. I like Errol Spence, but the Errol Spence fans, they be like, yeah, who has he fought? I'm be like, dude, y'all, where was that energy with Keith Thurman?
Free Smoke, yo, he was 16-0, ain't beat nobody. They like, yeah. Keep scared. Now the energy done changed. Now y'all dudes are accountants.
Yeah, then they be like, when you hear about Boots beating Lipinets, who was Lipinets? What about when Errol Spence beat Algieri? They wasn't saying that, that's a good win. I can't wait. Thurman got to fight him.
Oh. That reminds me of another welterweight that just had a win.
Bud, that same energy he gave Keith, he turned it into Keith 2.0 if you closely look at their careers. Hey, Damone, you 100% right.
Yeah,
100% right. Errol
it
Spence
seems.
and Spence fans are some of the biggest hypocrites in boxing. So Errol Spence was a prospect asking for a fight with a world champion. Okay? And he was upset that the world champion didn't give him the time of day. Only to turn around and do the same thing to the undisputed champion of the lower weight class? That's the equivalent of Sergey Kovalev telling Andre Ward, oh man, you gotta win the belt for me to fight you. Nigga, what? That's Andre Ward. That's Terrence Crawford. You don't say that. If they're the man of the lower weight and they want to come up and they want to smoke with you, then you give it to them.
I agree. Like, this whole thing, like, it seems like when Earl got on top, he's more of a businessman now. No, we doing a split.
Like
Seems like dudes are scared of their favorite
every
fighters
other
that's like
possibly getting
everybody,
exposed.
every other fighter in the course of
every other
history. Every other fighter.
Which is facts. That's why, you know,
Bud sell 100,000 pay-per-views and was like, no, I want 50-50 and no fight. And I'm looking like, bro, you ain't selling enough for all that.
We speak about it all the time, Jamil. Like, it's not like years ago. These fans is just emotionally attached to their favorite fighter. I'd be like, y'all ain't getting paid. Win, lose, or draw should still be your favorite fighters. They don't want to see their fighter take an L.
No, not at all. Seems like dudes are scared of their favorite fighter possibly getting exposed, losing, or getting knocked out. Win or lose, Bud. Yeah, win or lose, Boots the man, no Bud the champ. They deserve to fight EJ. All right, y'all. This is what we're going to do real fast. I'm going to put the link in the chat. For the last 10 minutes, anybody can come on and cook. Get your stuff off. If you want to hate on Spence, you want to hate on Boots, you want to hate on Bud, get it off now.
Yeah, speak now or forever hold your peace. You know?
This is chat.
How was Earl running from when Crawford? Hey, like I told y'all, man, boxing is a business. It's funny that Travis said that. Shouts out to Travis. Boxing is a business.
Yeah, boss.
So
boxing is business.
The business has to get taken care of first. Bud made the first step by leaving Bob, and now we're gonna find out.
Travis, we all know it's a business, but my whole thing is have that same energy.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's mad at Keith Thurman. He really pissed that Keith Thurman was choosing business, not fighting him. But when it comes down, y'all want to speak business. No, Bud should get 35%. No, he should get 20. Take that 80-20. No, like that's no. Have that same energy. They signed.
And Rashard.
Boots not quit acting like y'all don't know the business.
Like
Boots gonna have the promoter on the back.
Hey, Rashard, you're mistaken, right? Jaron Ennis is backed by one of the most powerful men in boxing, Steven Espinosa. So don't get it messed up. While his promoter may not be top A level as an Oscar and Eddie Hearn, still a good promoter, and him having Showtime allows him to get good fights, just not the fights that he may want at this particular time. But he definitely got a backing.
We agree it's harder.
He's like at the tier below the top tier, when it comes to, getting the best or the highest profile fights that are out there. He's not technically with who. He's not technically promoted by Tom Brown. So that means him getting a spot on Showtime every time he fights is a really big deal. Because any fighter that isn't really involved with those guys, you're not gonna see them, almost near at the top of the line when it comes to these fight cards. You know what I'm saying? So him at this particular point, he's a contender, but he's an exciting fighter that people want to see fight, and they know that. So they're gonna try to put him in as many times as they possibly can. while at the same time showing that he's not necessarily dealing with those guys that, could bring those top fights. It's different when you have a whole lot of fighters under one particular banner and you got slots that you got to fit them in. But at the same time, you're seeing Boots Ennis that's not really involved with that organization, and he's still able to get about 2 fights this year. When there's a lot of guys that are under that organization that probably ain't even got 1. So there you go.
Damn, Jay, you ain't have to do him like that. My man Fong says Spence is in a tough situation. Guy's fighting his mandatory, and he won't fight Bud, and his mandatories are Ortiz and Ennis. Well, neither is this Mando yet. Ortiz is number 1, and Boots is number 1. Mandatories are only mandatories when they are ordered by the sanctioning body.
Hold on, who's our other guest here? What's his name? I forgot.
My man Johnny.
Yo, why? Yo, he almost looked at me like Zeke. Yeah, Johnny got that.
I mean, Travis said they're all great fighters. They are not scared of each other. Get real. Nah, nobody's scared. It's all about business. It's all about which moves make the most sense, which moves are worth the risk. Let's ride. I'm a boxer. I know for a fact that he ain't ready for an elite boxer like Spencer Bud. You can be a boxer. You can have an opinion. But that don't mean that Boots may not whoop their ass. Let's ride. You get in the ring with him. Sparring. I don't know what you weigh. You get in the ring with him, sparring, test the work.
I mean, we could find out where you at. Let's ride, and then we could arrange get a trip over to Philly.
Billy, what's good, Billy? What's good with you, bro?
Ortiz is not Spence's WC mandatory yet. They haven't ordered that yet.
No. As soon as they order, he becomes a mandatory. There's a difference between number one contender and Mando. Boots is a studio gangster.
See, man, he's trolling, dog.
Come on, Kev.
Come on, man.
Hey, Kev. He's the Mando now. Tell dude to get in the ring. Pressure dude to get in the ring. Watch what's going to happen. See, the only reason why you react in that way is because you see something that could possibly defeat your favorite fighter. You don't want him to lose. That's why you got to denigrate and marginalize the guy that's coming up. You can think that he won't beat Bud and Spence, but you can't tell me he's not the goods, yo. You can't tell me that. He's the goods. Hey, yo, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I got a lot of good interviews, a lot of great content. Also, subscribe to my man, The Boxing Source. Yo, he be having Jaron Anderson on, Bo Mack, Steven Nelson. Like, you name him, he has them on. So, yeah, show him some love, man. Great content, great podcast. We really be bidding over there.
Yeah, man, we be putting in work on the podcast, man. Check it out. Hopefully I could get Gary Russell Jr. on the channel sometime later this week. So working on that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Gary got a big fight at Sale. Yeah. My boy Gary's back. One of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, I gotta confirm he'll be on with me on tomorrow, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. So might go up to the gym and rap with him for a little bit.
All right. My man says Boots needs to tell Showtime to put him on CBS for free so people can see his talent. That might not be a bad idea. We'll get him more fans. Why do we keep telling guys what they should take? That's a distraction to making the fight. Spence's lost leverage with. All right, so Demo. I can give my opinion. Whatever he decides to take or whatever he decides not to take, he's a man, right? That's his decision. But if we're going to be realistic, basic business, the man who sells more gets more. So if we're going to get on Spence for saying Bud should get a belt and then saying he's on the other side of the street, basically flip-flopping, we got to get on Bud for not having realistic expectations when it comes to business. And we got to hold him accountable for him possibly holding up the fight with an irrealistic split. When we know the only reason why Bud fans don't want to get on Bud for not taking a 60-40 is because you know Bud's stubborn and you don't want to blame him for the fight not happening. That's all it comes down to. You want it to be Spence's fault. But if Bud is asking for unrealistic numbers or numbers based on the metrics that we have say that he doesn't deserve,
Yeah, he can't do that.
Tom Brown exposed Spence in the Sean Porter kickoff. I saw that, but he says if a fighter really wants to fight, the fight will happen. Well, let me ask you a question. If the network doesn't want to pay for the fight, does the fight happen? They fight in the back alley, parking lot?
Yeah,
what we have to stop doing is stop taking to heart lip service that some people may say. That was lip service. Oh, yeah, if fighters want to fight, the fight will happen. Man, if ESPN and Fox say no, then the fight don't happen.
The fight don't happen. I mean, like that's exactly what Leonard Ellaby has been saying over the past couple of weeks. Is that fans don't understand that a fight doesn't happen just because two fighters want it.
Exactly.
It's because if it's financially possible from the promoters and from the networks, then it can happen. But if they don't see that it makes sense, if they don't see that it makes money, then it's not going to happen. It's just like Floyd Mayweather said after, Tank fought, Eastside Cruz. It's like, Mayweather Promotions is in the business of making money. We're not in the business of losing money. Listen, we got these guys, and we want to put them in the best situation to make the most money out of the fights that they have. So you got to understand something. We ain't here to fuck around with money. So I don't understand why y'all talking about, oh, these guys got to fight this guy got to fight that guy. Listen, they're hell of fighters, but we're not gonna make no fights if they don't make no money.
All right, I'm gonna read this last comment, then I'm gonna let whoever jumped on cook, and then we out. I got 2 racks on Boots when he watches Spence in 10 rounds. Well, then I think you're gonna be a very rich man. Harrison Hughes said Kevin Jones scared, real scared. All right, who do we have on with us right now?
Hey man, it's Terry in Huntsville.
What's good,
Alabama.
bro? Huntsville, man, Alabama in the building. Go ahead, cook for a little bit.
Man, I am cashing in. Man, I'm cashing in because I told guys 2 years ago about this dude, man. I said, there's a guy up in Philly, man. I said, I think I'm seeing Roy Jones all over again, man. I said, I'm not BSing, man. Oh, man, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Man, I'm telling you, 2 years from now, don't say I didn't tell you. I'm getting all kind of phone calls this morning from my boys. I said, man, listen, I told you to get this Amazon stock when it was $50. Now it's $3,000. I can't help you now, man. I said, man, I can spot them. I can spot them. They're out there. They're out there.
Husband, let me ask you a question, all right? What do you think Errol fights Boots, or do you think Errol vacates and fights Bud or Thurman?
Well, I think I had put in the chat, I think if the Bud fight is next, absolutely next, I don't think the IBF is going to strip. I think Boots will end up on the undercard with the guarantee that he fights the winner. Because that's going to be a pretty big. If they fight in March or April, I'm talking about Bud and Earl. Since you said they're negotiating now,
yeah,
I think Boots will be the co-main event with the guarantee that he's going to fight the winner. So I don't think they're going to strip.
That's not a bad situation. You bring up a good point. That's not a bad situation. That's not a bad situation to be in.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is all I got, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Come back next time. You're very welcome, man.
Hey, man, let me ask you this, man.
Go.
There's a young brother in the camp. I think I saw him last year on your YouTube. I think his name's Salim Bey.
Yeah.
Is this something? Okay, man. I swear, dude cracked me up. I think the first time I saw him, he just had a serious look on his face, and at the very end, when you told him, thanks for the interview or thanks for your time, he just looked straight at the camera and I mean, he didn't say nothing, man. And I sent it to my boys, man. They were just cracking up, man. I mean, dude is just, man. When are you gonna get him again for another interview, man?
Right now he's at the U.S. Nationals.
Okay, okay. I love his interviews, man. I mean, he's. Oh, thanks a lot, man.
Hey, Huntsville, before you go, what if I told you he's the next Jaron Ennis? Would you believe me?
I would. I just don't. When it comes to amateurs, aren't amateurs 3-round fights?
Yeah, but just remember how you said you spot the stock?
Yeah.
Just remember what I told you.
I don't follow a lot of amateurs, but I'll wait till he's 5-6-0, and then I'll take a look then.
Remember what I told you.
Okay. All right. $50 start.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
Thanks for coming on.
Yo, I gotta check this thing here for the IBF. Cause what I see, well, I don't know when they're doing their new rankings, but what I see off of Fight News is, of course, they had Kudratillo up there at number 1, and they had Porter there at number 2, right? And then they had Boots there at number 3, look like, and it had Ortiz Jr. at number 4, and Conor Bennett number 5. So I would like to know. I'd be interested to see like how this thing is going to be posted here for their next ranking. That's gonna be interesting. I gotta see when they when those come out. Because they ain't really changed the thing there for Sean Porter as of yet, if I'm not mistaken. They ain't dropped Sean Porter yet.
They'll probably.
Oh no, they put it not rated, so
they'll probably refresh it after probably like a week or so.
Yeah, week or something. Yeah. So they had that thing vacant. So I'd like to see how they do it, because they probably have Boots and Virgil. They're the highest spots, but they probably have both number 1. They might have number 1 and number 2 not rated.
Yeah. Hey, JR, we about to head out. Everybody in the chat, thanks for thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. You're a great audience. I couldn't even keep up with the comments. I guess this is like a really popular topic.
Yo, if it's anything dealing with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, they gonna come out the woodwork.
It's crazy. So like no trolling. It was a couple of Packer fan, Kevin Jones, but for the most part, like y'all were a great audience, man, and I appreciate it. Even those two guys, like they kept you on their toes with they BS, man. But yeah, we gonna pack it in. JR, let them know where to find you at, man.
Yo, the Boxing Source on YouTube. We're going to have a live scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, man. We're going to be talking about what happened over the weekend with Conor Benn and Lomachenko. So we might be getting on about Lomachenko here later on. And then, because that's going to be most of it. And then, probably talk about, what's happening with this IBF situation. Oh, and I will kind of get into this mess with the anyone that deals with the lower weights, 118 pounds, since it seems like everybody doesn't really want to face Naoya anyway, as they're like, missing their fights and fighting other people and not unifying. So we're going to be talking about all that tonight.
All right, y'all. I'll be going live a lot more often, probably like 3-4 times a week. We're getting great responses. Like I said, I'll be doing interviews with Boots and his team this week about Cody Crowley beating Abdukkarov. And yeah, man, I just look forward to y'all watching me grow, man. I do this for y'all. YSM Sports Media, we out. Thanks for watching.